Hey, folks, coming at you live from the shop. Just thought I'd tune in and say hello. And brought the squeakiest chair that I could to join me as my guest. Of course, now that I say that, I can't get it to squeak. All right, so this went unannounced, so I don't assume that there'll be a lot of folks jumping on right away. It may take a few minutes, but just going to wait for folks to join. Say hello. And just needed visual proof that I needed a haircut if my own YouTube videos aren't enough of a conviction. Hey, Matt. Matt Carve says hello. Dorothy Johnson says hi. Hey, guys. Just wanted to check in and say hello. So, hi. Here we are. It's kind of awkward. I guess I haven't really done a live stream in, years. And now I see why. It's a little awkward just to stare at yourself and read dismal comments, right? And that's why people mostly announce before they go live. But anyway, I just thought I'd do this as a way of saying hi to folks and hanging out on a kind of quiet Wednesday afternoon. Typically, I do a little bit of carving in the evening on Wednesdays. My wife is off at church at an event, and so I just thought I'd come on and say hi. I'm all alone and answer any questions. So if anyone has any wood carving questions at all, or frankly, anything you want to talk about, we can spend the next 20 minutes or so chatting if you want to. So wood carving Wednesdays, I'm calling it. Just a format for us to chat. Hopefully other friends might join, as it looks like a few of you are here. So yeah, feel free to post a question, say hello. Man, this live stream is grainy. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, so I don't have a lot to say, just hanging out with everyone. That's all. Deegs10 says, yo, how you doing? Best knives to get started, asks B. Consley. Well, I'm not like an expert on knives, and there are a lot of folks who are. Gene Messer, Doug Linker, a lot of folks who are like really dedicated to the knife only life. I'm pretty familiar with knives because I've used them for 16 years in carving, but it's not been like my sole tool. So but if you're like really starting out and you don't have a lot to spend and you're not sure if you're into it yet, I really like Beavercraft. I know it's controversial. People are always crapping or hating on Beavercraft. I like them. I really think that Beavercraft is just a good brand for the cost. I mean, this is a $13 detail knife, and sure, I don't think the steel is as good as the Flex Cut or the any of the smaller makers. Definitely not healthy, but it's half the cost of those. In many cases, less than half the cost, and really decent. So this handle is black. You won't see a black handle on the Beavercraft detail knife. Stock, I burnt the handle. But if you want to spend a little more money, I really do like the Flex Cut detail skewed knife. So there's a long answer. Yes, the Matt asked if the back wall is a different color. It is. Yeah. Very excited about that. Posting a video tomorrow morning about the little journey of deciding to do this, and then kind of how the shop build came to be. So yeah. Dorothy Johnson says, I just got a Flex Cut and I love them, and I started with Beavercraft. Great. Yeah, that's a great progression. I think Flex Cut is a good step up from Beavercraft. Favorite gouge for roughing in faces and bark? Yeah, that's for me. It's pretty easy. That's the flatter 1-inch wide gouge. I like this Stubai. I like this Swiss made. They stay sharp. They hold an edge well. Plenty of other makers that do a good job of that. That's about a 3 curve, number 3 curve. Yeah, thanks, Matt. He says it looks cool, probably better for videos. It is, yeah. I think it is better for videos. A little bit more contrast. You can see like wood stands out more than it used to, which is great. Yeah, I'm digging it so far. I mean, it's been 2 days. Mostly just been putting it all back together. So thanks for the questions, guys. This is fun. I'm enjoying the company. I probably should have had something prepared for this, but I don't. Other than, yeah, it's amazing what a little paint will do to workspace. Just some leftover paint that I had from the exterior of the shop and the house, and I just thought it looked cool. Here's my favorite corner of the room right now. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark, but let's see if I can turn this light on. I like the way there it is. The skull looks hanging up there, the clay skull. I like it. So that's my little journey that'll take you on. But yeah, you can see above me, I've got the skylight, got the main light, and a few other lights floating around that are kind of rearranged from where they were before. So I'm happy with it. Yeah. It definitely makes the carving tool stand out a little more, which is kind of fun. Makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, a little more manly, I think, somehow. I don't know, maybe it's all in my head, but yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, what else we got? Any questions? No friendly banter here, just me alone. Janie Hall says hello. Hey, Janie, how are you? Thanks for joining, guys. Matt, appreciate you joining. Good seeing you. Your lips video was off the chain, or that picture that you posted is what I saw. I'm not sure. I saw part of that video, but just seeing the lips that Matt carves, if you look him up, is his channel. He does an amazing job with these realistic kind of lips. I think they're female lips. Really, really solid work. I love seeing, I don't know if people do this enough, but I love seeing people post their little, almost like using YouTube as a social media, posting like posts, pictures. You can kind of scroll through folks' pictures on their profile. I think it's on the community feed. It's very neat. Yeah, but as far as knives go, I mean, I got a row of little knives over here. Mainly what's kind of on the bench right now, as far as what I use most often. I'll just go through a couple of those since we're here. And I may do another video on knives as I've gotten more experience with knives, and folks have sent me their knives, and I've had a lot of fun playing with them. First of all, these are, I think it's Beaver State blades, if I'm not mistaken. This is a really sharp blade, and it's 1.5 inches, maybe 1 5/8 inches. It is 1 5/8 inches. Blade, figured wood handle. It's very cool. Maple handle. This is a super, super solid blade. I am really, really impressed with this. I haven't played with it a whole ton, but just out of the tube, it's very sharp. Of course, I've got a couple of Helvies, the elusive Helvies. The generous folks there. Thanks for that. The deep holler, I've been playing with a deep holler knife. This is a red cedar handle. It's a chunky handle with a shorter blade. This is just 1.5 inches. I prefer the shorter blades. Gives you a little bit more control, so that's why I like it. Let's see what else we got. Matt. Yeah, my wife hates that disembodied carving. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's so funny. That reminds me of one of my clients from years ago was this maybe 30-year-old girl who was single at the time and living with a roommate in an apartment who said that her roommate would not let her put up my carvings. The carvings that she had gotten from me, put them up on the wall, made her take them down because they were creeping her out. So she was not feeling it. So I understand. I've seen where you have talks on Wednesday. Who's invited, or is this for your students? Talks on Wednesday. Yeah, this is for anyone. This is just for anyone who wants to join, students and YouTube subscribers alike. Yeah, I think it's been probably 7 years since I did a regular Wednesday live stream. But believe it or not, I used to be on Facebook and I used to have quite a few folks tuning into that, and I would do a little demonstration. Maybe we'll get to that. I don't know. Would you guys like to see that? Maybe a Wednesday live demo. We can interact together. Hey, Rumble, Rumble Foreskin. Hey, glad I did catch a live. Love your work. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Jenny says that she would like that, referring to the live demo. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll bring it back. Futuristic Bear says, hi, I started carving about 1.5 years ago. I have lots of small character carvings. I was thinking of selling them, maybe at flea markets. I was wondering what amount I should sell them at. Man, that is such a difficult question. Not enough information to really make a really helpful contribution there, Futuristic Bear. And the truth is, I haven't sold any of these little figures that I've been doing, these little tiny guys. These have been mostly just for instructional purposes. And so, yeah, I haven't sold a single one. So I don't know that I'm the best person to answer that question. Maybe it'd be better to talk to someone who sells kind of small caricature type carvings. Most of what I sell are carvings like this and larger. So like we got bark carvings, wood spirits, and green men, and female and male portraits of all ages. These are kind of the things that I tend to sell the most of. This one's not finished, but of course, I don't have a lot of things here to show, but yeah, maybe show you this one. Stuff like this is what I'm used to selling, and these things kind of range. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is a bigger carving. You can see it's almost life size. This is something that I would probably charge 2.5 grand for. So it's a lot more expensive than the smaller statues. So I'm not exactly sure which one, or what price rather. Which one? My brain fell out for a second. These bark carvings tend to go anywhere from 300 to 600 plus 700. In some cases, a custom commission can be as much as like 2 grand even for a bark carving. So, all right, Matt, see ya. Have fun making a picket fence. Olga says, hey, good night. Which of the two maintains the edge better, file or stew by? Olga, it's kind of a crapshoot. I honestly think, and I could be wrong on this, but my intuition has been that the stew by holds an edge longer, which sounds like a huge advantage right out the gate, right? Oh, it holds an edge longer. That's great. But the downside of a steel that's higher on the Rockwell scale, meaning it's more brittle, is that it tends to be more difficult to sharpen. So you're going to have to, if you're primarily honing or polishing your blades, you're going to spend a lot of time working to polish your tools. And so that's going to be more work for you. And so the softer steel in the file is a little easier to work. It's easier to polish. And so I do tend to use the file just as often as the stew by for that reason. So it's kind of like which would you rather have? An easier sharpen, a bit of a harder steel that's more work to sharpen. So hopefully that answers that. It's a good question though, because they're both kind of like equally um, good in my mind. I don't really prefer one to the other. I will say though, Swiss made, I think they have an edge. Their modern tools have a little bit of a manufacturing consistency edge. I mean, I say that, but then I look at the way this tool is set, and it's not set evenly into the handle. This is a Swiss made. But I mean, for the most part, they're pretty dead on as far as manufacturing. Whereas with Stubai, I've seen a few things slip through the cracks. I've had a couple of cracked handles. But then again, I've gone through a lot of Stubai tools, being that I sold them for a little while. Um, I still stand by them and use them every day. So they're really, really awesome tools, all of them. Stubai, Swiss made, Two Cherries, the German manufacturers I've seen are great. I'm hearing a lot of great things about um, the Eastern European companies. These Beavercraft, although very, very affordable and not on the same scale of quality, is a great Ukrainian company. Um, and there's a lot of other Ukrainian companies out there that I'm sure uh, would be worth looking into. Yeah, of course, Olga, no problem. Yeah, so just a reminder, today we're just hanging out, just chilling, asking questions, talking about wood carving. It's Wood Carving Wednesdays, folks. If you have any questions about wood carving, I'm not 100% sure I can give you an answer, but I'll do my best. Rican in the Rockies asks, ever since I started carving bark, I've been researching the spiritual significance of the cottonwood tree among many different peoples, especially Native American tribes. Was wondering if you have too. How cool is that? I have a little. My research is pretty limited. I do know that Native people would use the inside part. If you look at um, a piece of bark from behind, of course, I've got a backer on this one, but you can see apparently horses in a pinch, this could be wrong, would be, natives would feed horses this sort of in between what, Cambrium layer, if that's right. Cambium layer. I always end up putting an R in there unnecessarily. So that's not a spiritual significance, but I know that cottonwood root was used as a kachina doll material. So there's a very, obviously a significant spiritual connection to the kachina dolls, the cottonwood tree in general. But, as far as I know, cottonwood bark has only been carved for a little over 100 years. So I'm not sure if, who knows, Native people may have carved it themselves. I wouldn't be surprised, but as far as we know, it's like 100 years, a little over. But that's a good question. Right, says Janie, what are your thoughts on clay first to learn motion before carving in wood? Ooh, that's a good question, Janie. And when you say motion, I'm not sure if you're referring to kind of understanding the motion of the hand applied to the material, or maybe like creating motion in the work of art, trying to make it look like it has movement, meaning it's not static. It kind of looks loose. There's angles, there's head positioning. I think for sure clay is helpful in that you can really apply many of the principles of carving to clay. For instance, you can restrict yourself to only subtracting from clay. And that's a really huge asset. Like you can just pretend it's wood, with the added benefit of if you mess up, you can add something to it. So there's not a lot of downside to clay. I enjoy it a lot. I think if there is any downside, it's that there's a whole extra process involved beyond the sculpting of it. Like for instance, there's the bisque clay, the bisque firing. So you have to let it air dry the appropriate amount. If it's not air dry enough, when you go to put it in the kiln, it explodes. And so, having a properly air dried piece of clay before it goes into the kiln is important. So you have to wait 2 or 3 or 4 days or more, depending on the thickness. You have to hollow it out. These horns are hollow, otherwise it would explode. So if you're firing clay, um, it's a whole process. Then you glaze it, right, if you'd like, and then goes back in the firing and the kiln to for the glaze fire. And each time you throw it in there, it's at risk of exploding. So that is a big downside, if you ask me. I like that with carving. Once you've carved it, you finish it with maybe a polish, a poly, an oil, and it's done. Yeah, so Rican in the Rockies says there's a spiritual significance to the cottonwood tree among Native American tribes, that tabernacles were built from it, or that it's believed that the tabernacle was built from it. Very cool. Creating motion in the work. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Janie, I think I have probably only really focused on trying to make work that has a lot of movement or motion. And even so, I don't think I have the most movement or motion in my work compared to a lot of great sculptors. But yeah, clay has helped me with that to some extent, because you can just move stuff around. If you're doing a bust, you can just turn the face. You don't have to start over. So that's nice. Let me get some water. Keep the questions coming. This is great. The conversation is great. If you have anything to contribute, feel free. I'll hang out for a few more minutes. I said 20 minutes, but I'm having fun now. Dave Cobb says, great idea. I was thinking about this earlier today when I was watching your sunflower video. I'm assuming he's referring to the live stream. I'm glad you enjoy it, Dave. Thanks, man. And it was nice meeting you at the Metro Detroit Woodcarvers Club meeting show thing. Yes. So the big changes around the shop. New paint colors are on the horizon. That's kind of the word of the day is new paint. That's 2 words. I guess that's 2 words. I hope to meet you too, Janie. To meet you. Slip of the tongue. I hope to meet you as well. Yes. Yes. A bit of awkward silence. Does the soul good. Yes, indeed. Do any of you have great books that you're reading right now? I do. I have some great books I'm reading. I like the paint job, makes everything pop. Cool. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I talked to Doge Linker today, and he mentioned that it would be neat to see this backboard, this 2x6, being just a plain wood color instead of painted, to kind of match the tools, the raw wood of the tools. So cool suggestion. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it, but it's a good idea. The goal is just to make the background as invisible as possible. That's why I painted the background, is just to make it so that it was less noticeable. And also some mumbo jumbo about light being absorbed by dark colors and making it a little bit easier to control the light in the room. I guess that's a cinematography or video thing. So it seems to be working so far. It's kind of nice to make things pop. What do you got for me, YouTube? Hey, Halfling Carvings. Good to see you. Favorite knife for bark? Oh, that's a cool question. I really don't use knives for whittling. I'll use a knife in a bark carving, and that's what halfling is referring to. Um, and if I am pulling out a knife for bark, it's gonna be the Dave Lyons detail knife. It's super thin. I've used the tar out of it. It's a detail knife. That's Lyons. Dave Lyons is still, last I checked, he was still around. Hopefully he still is. He's not producing as many knives, and so I know they're getting a little bit harder to find, but this is a fantastic knife. And these are sought after. I had a few extra of these and threw them on eBay, and I was shocked at how people bid these things up. So they're definitely sought after knife nowadays. But so favorite knife for bark. Yeah, read that already. Reading. Oh, hey Ma. She says reading Show Your Work as you suggested, a great book. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier that you were reading it. And yeah, I like it too. I need to get deeper into it. I've read the book a couple of times through, but it was a year or two ago, so I've just been picking it up recently. Rumpel. I keep reading his I shouldn't read his title, his name, but he says I'll just call him Rumpel for short. He says it shows more depth. I think he's talking about the paint. I just got one speed bench grinder and put a leather honing wheel on it. It's 3,450 speed, too fast to strap my hand tools. Oh, he's asking if 3,450 RPM is too fast to strap his hand tools. Okay, and put a leather honing wheel on the bench grinder. I don't think so. I use a polishing wheel that spins on a standard bench grinder, so it's probably somewhere in that range, and that's fine. I like the cotton wheel for polishing. I've never used those leather wheels, but no, as long as you're not like putting the tool to the polisher and holding it for a long period of time with a lot of pressure, just kind of dipping in cool water. Keep some water in a container nearby. You can keep the blade temper, cool. It's gonna be fine. I don't see that as an issue. Rican in the Rockies, what's up with your book? Yeah, what's up with my book? Yeah, well, I'm talking to you guys. Procrastination is what's up with my book. But no, it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. It's a funny name, all good. Yes. Talking about Rumpel's his title here, his name. About carving. Have you carved babies? Do you have suggestions on working with them? It's hard to keep them still. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That's dark. The baby jokes from, I think, wasn't that a thing in the 70s? Baby jokes, terrible, terrible. Yes, I have. I just did a baby recently in butternut, and I'm not sure if I can say based on this rendering that I'm an expert in carving baby faces, but it turned out pretty good. Not terrible. Kind of a chubby little baby. Um, reference pictures. Yeah, having a reference photo is very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, having a front view is important, but even more important with babies, and especially like young women, very subtle features. Having that profile shot is even more important. So when you're carving, make sure you have a front view picture and a side view picture for a reference. That's a good thing. Olga, I hope that answers your question. Dave says, I got a laptop for my studio so I can join the school. All right. Very good, Dave. I'm just waiting for my admission letter. I really hope I get accepted. Laugh out loud. No, you get accepted, Dave. It's not that kind of a school. Although I've thought about creating some sort of application process. That who knows? It would be nice to kind of vet that a little bit. Hi, Tree. Your profile is called Tree. I like it. How are you? Rumpel says, hard to keep them still. Thank you. Love the sense of humor. I'm sorry, Olga. I had to make the dead baby's joke. I'm sorry about that. My neighbor just texted me on a separate note asking if my bandsaw cuts metal. The answer to that is no, Aaron. Hopefully you're watching this now. Then I won't have to text you back. Alvin Peterson. Do you find carving things like eyes harder or easier depending on the size of the wood? Hmm, that's a great question. Let's see how close I can get to the screen. Um, yeah, for sure. Smaller carvings are more challenging to carve in general. Any small area that's highly detailed, like the eyes, mouth, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to do a really tiny version of it. Which is why generally, if I'm starting a beginner out, we're working in like this 2 to 3 inch range, maybe 3.5 inch range. But that's a great question, Ellen. Yeah, it does start to become harder for beginners when the face is too small. Yeah, maybe you've experienced that yourself. Savage Woodsman says, "What up, Alec? What's your opinion on those Badger State blades?" So far, Savage, it's great, but I can't make a judgment call too soon because I have not played with it a whole lot. I just know it's so sharp, it's scary. I mean, it's one of those knives where, like, you often just kind of grab a knife and just do a little touch to see how it is, see if it catches. And inevitably, I cut myself every time I do that. So it's it's super sharp, scary sharp. Misty Mountain Woodcraft. Whoa, new shop, Alec. Yeah, no, not a new shop. Just painted the old shop. So that's that. Yeah. Okay, so Rumpel says I was on Doug Live and no, he's seen my questions but won't say my name. Oh, I got your back, Rumpel. Leave it to me to get flagged. This is not a live stream for kids. I really do respect him. Yes, I do too. Yeah. Yeah, it's not it's your username is not child appropriate. So, I understand. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. Since I don't have a demo, I don't have anything too serious to offer. But yeah, if you have anything else to ask before we go, give us another couple minutes. Misty says the shop looks good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like it too. I do. I'm actually for once I'm actually happy with it. So that's kind of cool. I like Doug's new 1x1 series. Yeah, we just talked about that. I was on the phone and he was showing me his latest project. I think you guys are gonna love that. Is that Owala mug you're drinking out of? What on earth? Oh, this. This is just a cheapo Amazon flask. Thanks. I'm not sure if you're referencing what I'm drinking out of now. Thanks for keeping him coming. Yeah, of course, Kenny. Your shop looks okay. I read that already. You should do this on the reg. Thanks, Dave, man. I appreciate it. That's the idea. Hopefully, I can do this maybe once in a while. Alvin, thanks for this. Is it a regular thing? Yeah, the idea is to show up on Wednesday nights and do it. If I have the time, I'll be here. Not promising it every Wednesday, but yeah, every once in a while. This is something that I we'll try to do Wednesdays 8 p.m. I was a little late today, and yeah, it's a throwback. I used to do this. This is actually ironically how my wood carving teaching career really kind of took off. Was doing a weekly Wednesday live stream on Facebook and Instagram. I had hundreds of people at times tuning in to watch these carving demos that I do, and I was just a teenager. And this is how folks heard about me. And apparently, I became kind of relevant to the teaching circuits for some of these workshops that were held in the States. So help me then. So I'm grateful. All right. So just appreciate all the things that we've learned from you guys. So thank you. Keep it going. Yeah, for sure. Alec, is buying palm tools a waste? Should I buy mid-sized? Yeah, I mean, personally, um, I prefer full-size tools. That's why you see most of the tools I have on the wall are full-size tools or mid-size tools. Yeah, I would prefer them personally. But no, I don't think it's a waste. If you're doing like a small handheld project, it only makes sense that you want to use something that's small, right? And it's easier to control something that's um, you know, in your palm, right? So that's definitely safer, safer. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Um Tree says my name is short for tree bug since I was 3 years old. I guess it's a southern thing. That's cool. My wife says Doug has a striking resemblance to. Oh, I won't even read that. Live streams are awesome, bub. We get to interact with you. Nice. I'm in Michigan with you. All right, fellow Michigander. I can't wait to take your course. Thank you, Janie. Yeah, check it out. It's funny. I was doing Doug's 1x1 and got a notification about you doing a live. I switched over. Glad I did. That's good. And tune back into Doug's when you're done. Clive Green, always in with the good comments here. Who is your favorite Muppet? Miss Piggy. Next. Great question. You're in Canada like Doug, but I'm in the prairies. Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of folks in Canada who are into carving, I've found. In fact, these artificial intelligence bots that you can utilize to chat GTP, for those of you who haven't heard of them, you can put, like a Google search, put your information in and get an output. My brother searched my name and sent me the results, and it said I was a Canadian woodcarver. Because I feel like it's a good bet that if somebody's into wood carving, they might be Canadian. You never know. You never know. It's a good shot. Yeah, land of cottonwood bark. Yeah, being in the plains is great for cottonwood. West Coast Canada. Misty's from West Coast Canada, and she started carving a couple of months ago. Wow, good for you. Welcome. Very, very cool. Can't wait to get some cottonwood to carve. Dorothy says, yeah, cottonwood is nice. It's really, really nice. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite wood to carve, but my favorite I guess, wood, if you will, wood. It's great. It's great to work. So, oh, I keep saying I'm going to tune out, but you folks keep on with the questions, and I'm enjoying it, even though my wife is trying to call me. Let me shoot her a little response. I should have told her that I'm doing this, huh? All right. I'm in Colorado and started carving in December. Oh, male, Misty. Oh, okay, Misty Mountain. I was just reading Misty separately from Misty Mountain. Derp. Very cool. Misty Mountain Woodcraft is a man. What are you working on in the back? Savage Woodman asks. This is just a piece of cottonwood bark that I think one of my students, maybe it was Sam, my video guy, was carving on the bottom of. But it's mounted up, and I'm going to be making something cool out of it here shortly. So I don't know what that is, but we'll do something cool out of it. I keep posting this one in the background because I'm happy with it, but it's starting to be a crutch for me that I'm not doing other projects. Just leaving this in the background of my videos because I like it. But yeah, I think I'll do a Medusa. That's the plan with this one. I wanted to carve Medusa for a while, and I did a I used one of these random idea generators on Google. If you search random idea art idea generator, there are websites that will like just tell you, you know, carve or create a modern Medusa, right? You can pick a category, and then it'll spit out some ideas, which is so cool. Have you done skulls? I've never done a human skull. The only extent of a skull I've done is that is this. This is the first skull I have ever done. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, but that's all I've done. This is in stoneware. This is carved out of clay. So the technique here is to get the clay leather hard. So you leave it out to dry for a couple of hours, after you kind of get the general shape, of course, and then I carve it. I carve it a lot like a piece of wood, but with clay tools. Kemper tools. Let me grab them. Hold on. Kemper tools they look kind of like wires attached to. A lot of you have already seen these before, but here's what they look like: pieces of wood with a thin kind of ribbon, steel ribbon. And this gray goop that's at the ferrule or the insertion point is just epoxy to keep the wire or a band of steel from pulling out of the handle, just to keep it all secure. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate the compliments. Or the compliment. I'm not sure. Yes. Anything else? I need a haircut, guys. Look at this. What's happening? My sister-in-law just volunteered her friend to cut my hair, which is good because this has got to go. I feel it's fun to have long hair because you feel kind of like a crazy person. Yeah, it's art hair. That's exactly right. It's artsy fartsy hair, and I don't like it. It's too much work. I see why dudes default to short hair. It's not fun to have to take a shower to fix your hair in the morning. It's a hassle. Keep it while you can. I know you sound like my dad, Dave. My dad's the one who pushed me to do this, to grow it out. No, I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I feel like. I feel like a crazy person. I feel like an art hair guy. As good as you are, you should do a Davy Jones type bust. Ooh, thank you. Yeah. Ooh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? My buddy Abby Peterson did a really cool Caribbean Davy Jones bust. He did actually the whole figure out of a log, and it looked awesome. Really, really cool. Everyone's having babies now. That's all I know. All my friends are I'm sorry, I just got another notification, a text. That's why I bring this up. But so many of my friends, I think 3 or 4 of them in the last 2 weeks have had kids. And my wife and I we're just enjoying our friends' joy, knowing that it's us next. Dave Cobb, ever do a dragon? Rumpel says my babies are 21 now. Aw, good for you. Good for you. It's nice to have that done with. You have adult kids. I'm jealous. Ever do a dragon? No, I have not. That's a cool idea too. I guess I've never been drawn to dragons, but Savage says, "Don't do it." Talking about kids, laugh out loud. Enjoy your youth and profession for now. Yeah, we're waiting. Rumpel says, "Yes, freedom." Yeah, no, we're not. We're not trying to have kids like this very moment. But it is becoming a reality that if we want to have kids, we should do it sooner than later. Because I don't want to be a really old grandpa dad. I don't want to have arthritis, trying to run after my kid with a tennis racket. I don't want to have an old dad bod. That's good. He said, Rumpel says it was a great experience. He says, it was a great experience. Yes, Alex. Like he was trying to say Alec, but he spelled my name Alax, which is a really kind of cool way of spelling my name. I kind of wish my name was Alex. My baby is coming home from Japan this weekend, and I haven't seen him in 2 years. Wow. Congrats, Dorothy. That's cool. That'll be awesome to see your child after 2 years. I'm having a few beers and typing fast. You're good. Rumple, you're good. No worries. I just you just happened to make a really entertaining typo. So you're good. Yeah, freedom. All right. Any other questions before we go? Any other questions? Oh. Wow, Rumpel's son just got engaged. So I fully enjoy being a 72-year-old dad of an 8-year-old. All right. There you go. Good to hear from you, Larry. There's nothing wrong with it. That's probably where I'll end up, honestly. I mean, if we wait a few more years to have kids, I'll probably be an older dad, which is the way the cookie crumbles. I don't think my dad was too old, really, but he was on the older side. And it was never, he was a healthy guy. I mean, he was always able to kick my butt in sports. So nothing wrong with that. Ever carve one of your guitars? No, my dad is my dad built this. Speaking of my dad, this is all made from wood from Home Depot, believe it or not. And he built this and then gifted it to me on Christmas of 2020, I think. Maybe it was 2019. It must have been 2019. And I really I used to be able to play a little bit. Ooh, that's out of tune. It's a really decent, I mean, not decent, it's an amazing sounding guitar. Garden hose immunity right here, folks. Sweet. I'll go with the drum I made. There you go. There you go. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, well, it's reduced to me playing guitar, so I gotta stop. I gotta stop while I'm ahead. This is fun though, guys. Thanks for hanging. Bad guitar playing, some great wood carving conversations. All I could have hoped for tonight. So thanks again. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Oh, a whole slew of comments and questions right before I go off. Thanks, Tree. Love, peace, and chicken grease. You guys are wild. Thanks, Rumple. Does my wife play an instrument also? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She's a very talented writer. She is a very talented person. But no, yeah, I'm not. I can't think. I'm stumbling here because I don't want to mess it up. But no, she doesn't play an instrument. I'm almost sure she doesn't. So, all right. Talk to you guys. Play a whole song so we know you can really play. I will next time, Dave, and you will be the only one happy about it. Oh, what is this? Someone's paying me. Duh, not so fast. Wait until the beer wears off. Thanks, Rumple. Talk to you guys. Thanks for the donation, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.